Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts and we tie them to something in the junk drawer, the garage, kids' room, maybe the Dollar Tree, all kinds of things during this time. But this is for the first Sunday after Christmas, and we're looking at the gospel lesson out of Luke, and it's chapter 2, verses 22 through 40, and it's Simeon and Anna. They get to see Jesus, and it's something they've been waiting for. You can get that sense in there where Simeon's going, "Now let your servant depart in peace." So the springboard I'm looking at is a pot of water and a wrapped gift. So I couldn't remember this. I was looking at my notes up here. But a pot of water is what I'm really thinking about, because there's that phrase, "a watched pot never boils." You know, my grandmother had sayings for everything. If there was a saying, or if there was a folklore or a myth, my grandmother would have the saying for it. And I loved it because they just roll off her tongue. And every time I hear one, I'm like, oh, stitching time saves nine, or something like that. I learned that if you're going to give a knife to someone, like a kitchen knife, you give it with a penny taped to it so they can give the penny back, because if you give a knife, you can cut a friendship, but if you sell a knife, all those kinds of interesting things. But a watched pot never boils. That idea that when you're waiting and you're just waiting, it does boil, we know that, but there's that feeling of like, oh, and Simeon, you can hear it, and Anna, you can hear it, where when Christ is brought into the temple and there's the blessing, it's like, oh, and that is, and then maybe tying it in, now may your servant depart in peace. Tie it into, at the end of our church services, we say, "Go in peace and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God." The sense that as we gather in this place, whether we're gathering in the sanctuary, which we're not, but I say it as we gather in the ways that we do over Zoom, or we do Facebook Live, but at the end, go in peace and serve the Lord, in the sense where we've experienced that. Now, the other springboard is the wrapped gift, about how when it's been underneath the tree and you've been waiting, and it gets to the point where it's time. It's time that you get to unwrap it, and that excitement gets built up. So it's all about that waiting, and that it is here. It's happened. I can just feel the excitement of Simeon and Anna. So that's the springboard, that excitement, that there's the springboard up. So, all right, I hope this can be useful for your children's sermon. And I say this week after week, but you need to know that I mean it, that I know you guys are rocking it. It gets hard. I mean, this is longer than any of us expected. Even with vaccines rolling out, we know that it's going to be a while yet. And know that your congregation appreciates the work and loves you and just holds on to you in prayer. Know that I'm praying for you. And there's times where the congregations that we serve can forget to express that. So let me express it for them. You are doing wonderful and God-filled work. So blessings be on you. May the Spirit wrap you in grace and carry you on into the next week. All right? Peace, and we will see you next time.